Tim, I needed to hear your comment and your views on this aspect that sometimes I discuss with my colleagues and my friends is training people and providing them a way so that they know how to learn. So for me, is becoming like a key area that I see where education can really change. And the background is like, I think a lot of times where I see problems in terms of, people that people face is just trying to figure out how to learn, right? Because there's so many sources of information. You have YouTube's, blogs, the open universities, Udacity, Coursera, and Udemy. So it's always becoming actually more overwhelming for a new person to come and say, okay, how do I even learn this? And as you said, we cannot be prepared for every new technology that may come in 10 years. We cannot prepare now. So, from your experience having run this school so long, how do you see this problem about helping people learn how to learn?
That is, thank you for bringing this up because as a school, we also set a goal to ourselves that we want to revolutionize the way that education and especially tech education is done. And when you have experts in this topic, and here I'm really happy to have like-minded people in our team, when you start thinking about how a modern school should look like, you at some point start thinking about different types of learners. And here I'm very pleased and very happy that I had the opportunity in the past to work in learning and development myself to understand that, of course, there are many different types of learners. So for example, I love watching videos. I could watch for 3 or 4 hours in the evening any YouTube video where I could pick new skills up just learning from experts. But what I really hate is reading through long documents. I really personal example. I get the feeling of falling asleep when I have a document to read of 15 pages where at the end I need to summarize for myself what was relevant now and what was not. But there on the other side, I don't know how it looks, how it is for you, but there are people who love reading. And now our discipline, one of our main disciplines in our school is to set up a curriculum where you target all these different types of learners. And that's a huge challenge because whenever you offer a workshop for 90 minutes, for example, where it's about listening to an expert, you have 10 people out of 15 who love doing that, and you have 5 who are not enjoying that. And that's the key, or that's one of the things that we are tackling almost every week to get the perfect mix to always be able targeting these different learners, because we are always having a group of people. It would be a bit different if I'm an individual and I'm sitting at home and I have this idea to pick up a new skill. Very relevant example here is if I don't know how to pick it up and what works for me, I highly advise to just try out. One evening, try out with a podcast. One evening, try out with a video. What works for many people is just learning by doing, especially in code. Just start coding and not only watch videos. So just start failing and learn from your failures. That's also one philosophy we implemented in our school, having a very hands-on approach. But once you understand that there are different types of learners and you can probably relate to one or two of them, you start building up your motivation, because you could somehow identify your purpose and also the way how to get there. So I would highly advise start finding out what type of learner you are, and then you probably set up the foundation for your learning experience.
That is actually very, very well said. So, what I take away from what you mentioned is figure out what kind of learner you are and experiment with different forms of learning, right? So you listen to podcasts, look at videos, read, talk to people, experiential, just try out something, and then probably figure out what works for you. And then,
Exactly.
yeah, I like that a lot, and I think this is essentially what I think will really help people, because traditionally, I think educational institutions have always advocated one form of learning, right? So either read a book, give an exam, or be asked questions. And I think for some people, it really works and they really excel at that. But for the rest, they don't find the enjoyment, they don't find the aspect of really enjoying that particular content, and then potentially get disappointed and demotivated and just move out. So yeah, I really enjoyed what you just said.
And your summary was highlighting one very popular problem, in my opinion. You were talking about traditional education, and we all know how it is to sit 8 hours in a classroom where we are just listening and taking notes. And I hope that it's not only me who now is looking back and found this to be very tiring. And talking about efficiency, let's refer to any bachelor's program. Is this the most efficient education that we can really have? Is there no other way that we could set up in 2020, 2021 to be more efficient, to be more targeting the real needs of different people? Because what I do in any university or school is that I pick so many different people, put them in one bucket, and let them have the same experience, which does not work at all. I mean, we know that this is not working, and that's also one of my very personal passions and motivations, that with our school we really have the chance to tackle that issue, and the feedback that we get is amazing. So true, very true aspect that you mentioned, that traditional education will see a lot of change, I'm quite sure, in the next years.
Thank you for listening to this special episode. The full episode with more insights and experiences is also available on the podcast page. Please subscribe to the podcast In Your Shoes on the podcast channel, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, Overcast, Pocketcast, and others. To know more, please visit www.inyourshoes.com. That is INURshoes.com.